right, everybody, welcome aboard. Let me first introduce wearechange.org, one of my favorite producers out there, and let me just get right into it. This is what, let me bring it back here. This is what I wanted to talk about real quick. Millennials are sicker in more ways than one. And I am not far off from the millennial generation. This is why I'm concerned. I have friends, I have family, and I am just like you. We want to get people to feel good, move good, think well, sleep well, because when they can do that, everybody's doing better. So let's start this in the right spot here. So let's bring it in here. Let's talk about dopamine. Let's talk about serotonin real quick, because this is where I feel his article starts to divert a little bit and gets away from the meat of it all. And yes, serotonin and dopamine are produced because of things that are happening in the gut. And so let's talk about what happens when the gut is being destroyed. And let me pull this image up right there. Now hopefully you can see that image. You see in the middle here it says candida infection. So basically, when we have too much alcohol, too much antibiotics, cigarette smoking, or low levels of oxygen, toxic mercury in the dental fillings, and acid use, corticosteroid use, hormone replacement therapy, contraception, contraceptive pills, loss of good bacteria, right? And that happens because of high stress. That's what's over here. Lack of sleep, too much fluoride in the water. This stuff can be sexually transmitted. This stuff is a result of destruction of the gut from processed foods, too much sweets, too much candy, too many bagels, pastas, pizzas, whatever you name it. These things that are the convenience food in our society are, in fact, polluting and toxifying us. Now, don't let me kid you. I cannot call the kettle black because I am just as guilty. In fact, I was just telling a patient who just left that for the first 26, 27 years of my life, I was 100% ignorant to this. Yeah, everybody knew, just like most people, yeah, vegetables are good for you. Yes, fruit is good for you. Yes, you want to eat a well-balanced meal. Though if you could look back at the food pyramid, it is not built for health. Even the new version of the food pyramid is not built for health. And so what's the result of it? It destroys the abdominal gut. It destroys the intestinal bacteria, which affect us. It affects our mind, it affects our brain, it affects our immune system, it affects our inflammation, it affects everything in our body. And then once the gut is destroyed enough, we cannot even assimilate nutrients. So literally people are eating and yet they are really starving. It's tragic and dramatic. Now, I've included the video in the description based on where you're watching it. Maybe you're not getting it, but hopefully you can see the full video because I think it's well worth it. He talks about a lot of wonderful topics, but serotonin and dopamine. So let's deep dive in there a little bit. I have a wonderful book here. It's called Hope for Health, Functional Bioanalysis. This is a part of the practice I do here in my neck of the woods. And in here, I'm going to flip open to the serotonin page. So what happens if there's too low of serotonin? Well, we get a lot of sadness and or sleepiness. If we have too much serotonin, we get headaches. And what I want to point out to people is that serotonin is made in our own body. In fact, how do we make it? By eating certain nutrients, by getting certain foods in our system. And the closer to the, as nature intended it, as organic and as pure, and that means the soil has to be that way as well, so that the right mineral content can be used by the fruit, by the vegetable, by whatever is growing from it. so that then when we eat it, we have enough of the right stuff. And that is actually very, very difficult to do these days. So what's the answer? It's called whole food dehydrated concentrates. And I work with a couple companies that do stuff like this. So I'm going to show you something called a pathway. Now hopefully it focuses. I don't know if it's going to focus, but you can see, let me get a little closer, maybe you can see it. It says tryptophan, 5-HTP, serotonin, what we got there? Excuse my fingertips. And acetylserotonin and melatonin. That's the sleepy part, right? And you can see there's all kinds of little things that add up to it as well. That, let me get it in there, right there. You can't really see them, and maybe that's good for the secrets out there. However, I want you to think of it, it's called a pathway. I want you to think of it just like a path. But on this path, there's multiple gates. And to open each gate, you need keys. And in this analogy, the keys are different nutrients. So when you eat that turkey, which everybody knows tryptophan's in turkey, or most people know that, but to convert that to the next level, you need vitamin B6, vitamin C, iron, B12, and folic acid. From that step to get to serotonin, which is where all the sexiness is, if I could say it that way, where all the hot topic is right there, you need proper amounts of, again, B6, magnesium, zinc, and B1. And I gotta tell you, just on that comment alone, zinc, most people are deficient in zinc, producing significant issues in the body that, yes, can be diagnosed as some type of illness or disease. And so let me be clear. Getting a diagnosis does not make it, is not wrong, it's not right. Getting a dosage is a state of physiology. How do we fill the void that caused that state of physiology? Well, that's proper nutrition, that's proper minerals, vitamins, nutrients, phytonutrients, proper exercise, movement, learning about your mind, learning about proper thinking, learning about expectations, your beliefs. All this is strictly, hugely, strictly important. And last but definitely not least, perhaps one of the most important pieces is proper neurologic input, meaning the brain and the body are communicating, and that is chiropractic, ladies and gentlemen. Chiropractic is not just about back pain or neck pain, it's about helping your brain and your body stay connected. So hopefully you found some value in this. If you found some value, if you found some information, type in #value. Share this with someone that needs to know. Put it on your wall, put it on your page. People need to hear this kind of information because this is actually how we turn on wellness. This is how we reverse the effects of the aging process. This is how we reverse the effects of getting a disease. We fill the body with what it requires. Blessings, best regards. I'm Dr. Kevin.